Hyderabad's paper money is one of the most distinctive currency stories in India, shaped by wartime shortages, political authority, and public trust. In this episode, I am joined by Dr. Rizwan Razak, who has recently published a detailed book on the paper money of the princely state of Hyderabad. In our conversation, we trace how Hyderabad came to issue its own notes, what made people accept paper in place of silver and gold, and the remarkable shipwreck episode that became part of this history. Here is Dr. Rizwan Razak. Hello and welcome to the Backbench podcast. Today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Rizwan Razak. And so I'd like to start off by asking you a very important question regarding your book. Was there a moment in your youth when collecting stopped being a hobby and became something you knew would never let you go?
There was because I had got interested as a youngster because I found a note in my grandfather's safe which had Reserve Bank of India on a note and it's a Pakistan money. This actually intrigued me, and then I think that actually caused me to start getting interested in knowing the history, and with which I started doing collection. And then what happened was that the hobby became a passion, then became an obsession, and finally there's no limit to what is
So when you first began studying Hyderabad's currency, what discovery made you realize that this was a far bigger story than you had initially expected?
When I started with the Hyderabad notes, they didn't actually fascinate me in the beginning because the language on it was only Urdu / Persian, and there was no English in it, and then it was hard to understand unless you knew the language. But only I think that brought to you was that they were very pretty in their colors and very striking, and especially the large denomination of rupees 1000 was very big in size and quite massive and very colorful. And this is what made me think that Hyderabad also had a story behind these notes, and that there are small nuances in the notes. As we go on, I'll explain to you.
So when was the moment you realized that this research couldn't stay buried in the archives and had to become a book?
You know what happened was one day I got a file from Bombay from Mr. Farooq Kabiwala having some pictures of various notes and coins, etc. In that there was a newspaper, an old newspaper, and there was an article written by Mr. P.L. Gupta. And I said, this is very nice. I read it, and there were many gaps in that article because that was written some 40 years back. And then the available information maybe at that time wasn't so much. So I said, no, let me start filling the gaps. So I decided to write an article to the International Banknote Society, and one led to another, and that article turned out to be a book.
That's really amazing, sir. And so, following up with that, what was the hardest part of turning decades of research into a book people could actually sit down and read?
The hardest part is that there's no information available. In fact, there are 3 signatories whose photos still are not there in the book. We are yet to find a picture of them in any way, including the archives of the Telangana and even the archives of Zoma, Man of Pilots of the Nizam. So the harder it gets, the stronger I get, and the more information I seek to put things together, so that the people after me and the collectors and people that are passionate about Hyderabad come to know such stories.
So for how long did you spend researching about this?
What truly happened was, I started working on from the year 2000, and then we had a book, an interim book in the year 2012. It was a chapter in the book in that came out in the year 2012, titled the Indian Paper Money, which had other chapters too. And then from there on, there was a break. And then in the last 3 years, I only focused simply on Hyderabad. And the result is this book.
Sir, coming to to Hyderabad's historical uniqueness, among all the princely states back then, what gave Hyderabad the confidence and the chivalry to issue its own paper money?
Actually, they didn't have the confidence or the machinery to issue banknote. What happened was in the First World War, they ran out of metal. In view of the metal, they wanted to to give paper money instead of the metal because of the shortage. That is what caused them to go to the British and seek their permission to get banknotes printed on paper. And luckily, they secured the permission. Following this, the Maharaja of Mysore got very agitated, saying that we are also equally and large enough state, and they should also be given the permission. However, that permission with the British was denied. Hence, the princely state of Hyderabad was the only state in India that got permission to print paper money.
So they got permission, but when it came to the ordinary people who actually held these notes, what made them trust this piece of paper the way they trusted metal or gold?
See, that is very important. It was only the fact that it was by the Nizam because they had to part with their silver and gold to get the paper. And later, that silver, what do you call it, the paper would be exchanged for silver or a smaller denomination of another paper. So, this belief in Nizam and his solidity is what made people believe in this paper money.
So was there a period when public confidence in Hyderabad's currency came dangerously close to collapsing?
Indeed, during the Second World War, when again the shortage of metal happened, and they got supported by getting in excess of silver coins, that's when the confidence came back.
So then this transition, how did it hit traders, families, and the whole rhythm of like their daily economic life?
No, it did cause a flutter. It happened, a similar situation happened in as late as 2016 when we had the demonetization of the Indian rupee, where they had to be exchanged for a new note. This did affect during the Second World War to a certain extent the daily lives of people.
Okay. And so this, like after that, after the Second World War initially, like after that's when the independence happened, and then, like, when did the Hyderabad roots essentially like transition out?
What happened in 1947 when India became independent, Hyderabad didn't join India. They wanted to remain an independent country. And also at some point of time, there was somebody called the Razakars which took over the running of the Hyderabad government. Finally, I think there was something called Operation Poro, where the Indian government took over Hyderabad. And finally, the Nizam relented and Hyderabad acceded to become part of India. There was a time when there was an exchange rate. The Hyderabad notes got exchanged for as the British government notes or the Indian rupees. The exchange rate was that you give 7 Hyderabadi rupees or Usmania Sikka and you get 6 Indian rupees or the British government rupees. This took time, and finally in the year 1959, they said enough is enough when the exchange is stopped. So really speaking, there was a demonetization of the Hyderabad notes in 1943.
All right. So, and when you hold one of these rare Hyderabad dudes today, what do you notice that the ordinary person would completely miss?
Now there are few things that are very unique to the note. There is a great print plane identification that is there, which is a minute alphabet in the lower margin. Then there is the printer's imprint is there in the first issue of notes, and also when you hold the notes of the first issue, the size itself is so magnificent and large that it enthralls you.
And so, when this book came out, what surprised like even the seasoned collectors?
What surprises the content? Because the information that is here, this book is 388 pages. The entire chronology of events have been captured in this book, right from the day the Nizams got born till the currency that happened in coins and also transitioned into paper money till the end of the period when the exchange took place. The entire sequence has been chronologically written and well drafted. And this surprises many. In fact, I sent a book to London to a friend of mine who's the biggest auctioneer of banknotes, Mr. Pierce Newman. He said that I am surprised, he said I'm surprised to see the quality and the depth of the book. And I think my request is the next time you make a reprint of this book, they should be sent with some white gloves because it's so exquisite.
Yes, sir.
I'm reading out a feedback that I got from Mr. Pierce Nolan, which reads, "Hello Rizwan, wow, I have been away from the office for a few days and only just been presented with your amazing book, for which I am very grateful. I can honestly say that I have never in my life seen a book of such substance, so elegantly and beautifully presented. Your book is a precious work of art in itself, and I suggest if you ever reprint it, you issue it with a pair of white gloves. Many thanks for your generosity and congratulations on a job well done. Very best wishes, P.S. Luna."
Sir, so after the book launch, how did people react in reading the book?
The general reaction was speechless because no one expected that there will be so much of depth and quality that is there in the book. I will read out a few quotes from people, their responses. One is, "Oh my God, what an incredible achievement. The book launch is a massive success and a wave ride creating noise amongst everyone in the country and around the world. And I'm beyond thrilled for you. The fact that it's resonating with readers is a testament to your hard work and dedication. Writing has power to inspire, educate, and transport people to new worlds of numismatic. That's no small feat. Your passion and creativity shine through every page. Can't wait to see what's the next thing that's coming up. Keep slaying, author, and wish you more success always." This is from a gentleman called Kapil. This is from Mr. Barnaby Fall from Donans. He is the most respected banknote data auctioneer in the world. It is as expected a lovely book and will go alongside the lovely presentation book of Indian notes you gave me. The UV torch, a nice touch. I think the quality of print and color is excellent. Truly well done. Best wishes, Barnaby. Your presence in the Indian notary field offers us more than just technical data. It offers us validation. Your pen is the most limited edition asset you own, and we thank you for spending it with our notary family. Thanks a lot from the bottom of my heart, dear Dr. Rizwan Azad, sir. This is from Dr. Muhammad Shafiullah of Hyderabad. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for sending me an autographed copy of the books on the currency notes of Hyderabad State, and remain thankful and grateful to Rizwan Raza. Best regards. This is from Raphael Daba from Israel. I just learned about your new book, Paper Money of the Princely States of Hyderabad. Huge congratulations. I have no doubt it is a superb piece of work. I would also like to take this opportunity to wish you and your family a blessed Ramadan. Best kind regard from here, Rafi.
So how does that make you feel?
The effort that's gone into it, this one comment itself makes you feel really that, worthy of what's come out. And it's not only Mr. Pierce Noonan. Everyone who's handled the book has only one word: wow, fantastic, tour, amazing, etc., etc.
So, I mean, just building on that, it really is like a testament to passion and, resilience. Because I think when you mentioned earlier that you've been doing this since the year 2000, that's over 25 years of research.
Research was not only on Hyderabad, it was on the entire gamut of the Indian Paper Company. Hyderabad was part of the research, but the last 3 years we did thorough research. It also took me to Hyderabad a few times. I went to both the mints as well, and some information I was able to see. But truly, the information on this Hyderabad paper money is scarce and low and very tough to get.
So what made you pick Hyderabad there?
No, I told you it was only that I picked Hyderabad not as I didn't pick it as a choice.
Yeah.
I was wanting to write an article in for the IBNS, and that when I started writing it, it became so much that I said it doesn't deserve to go in an article because they won't print more than few pages. So I decided to do a book instead.
So what's your favorite part of this book? If there's one small insight from this book that really stayed with you.
No, there is a nice story on the notes that were shipped, printed in London and shipped to Hyderabad, and the ship that carried it, SS Egypt, sank because of bad weather, and these notes that were coming in from London to Hyderabad were underwater, 400 feet underwater, where no human could go, and they up to 12 years. 12 years later, they were brought up by a team of salvage team. They did not go to salvage the notes because they were unaware that the notes were there. But however, they were aware that there was a 1 million pounds worth of gold was there on the SS Egypt that sank. Whilst they were salvaging the boat, they found these notes. Luckily, they were unsigned and it didn't hurt the Hyderabad government or the state exchequer by these notes coming into the market. What is also remarkable is that in spite of being in salt water for 12 years, the quality of paper and the quality of print is spectacular. They still remain intact.
In all notes from back then, they had that kind of elegance to them.
They did. They all notes are in elegance, yes.
So speaking of the IBNS, did you ever imagine that you'd be the first Indian inducted into it?
Not really. It was a surprise. But when I first got a book, an album, or what do you call a reference book of paper money, I went straight to the India section and I saw notes which I could never believe that existed. And in my head, I said, I wish I could somehow manage to get one note of each type. And finally, I succeeded. And went on relentlessly till one day I got a message from the International Micrometer Society, and they said, you have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. That is something that is done without application. It is that someone has nominated you and the rest of the team accept you, and probably is the best moment of my life in my collecting years.
That's really fascinating. And so after decades with these notes, what has this journey taught you about trust between people and the institutions they rely on?
See, the trust is actually the word, because they're parting with their real assets and getting a piece of paper with the hope that one day when they go back and return it, they get back the value for it. That is something that, people learned in the earlier years. That is towards up to maybe 1935, no one really believed in paper. They only wanted to have gold or silver in their hand. So over time, then they realized that this is something that they should do, and it has also something that had ease of operation, ease of using that rather than carrying weight around hollow.